target. I feel Xin Zhao would have maybe been a little bit better here, especially with having that Crescent Guard. Gives him a lot of immunity versus he is still level 1 right now at 3.5 minutes.
Oof. Yeah, that's a roughie as they're going for the engage now. Vampire stepping forward. We do get the flash. Ignite also coming out. So Kyle has to be a little careful as Hope is now the next target. But Monkey gets caught. And a very nice flash from Hope over the wall as they fight the first blood. But it's really important for them to not give up more. WE, they've lost so much on this bot lane right now. Snipe goes wide. No chance for Taehyun to actually do anything. It's crazy.
Oh my god, that was an incredible dive, and maybe they go for more. He has no flash. Take this guy down.
Yeah, they really want him. Tarzan has more than enough damage, especially being backed up by Hope here. And that that's insane. That's like 40 CS lead now for Hope over Taehyun. Such an important tool for teamfight setup. I'm very excited to see how he's going to, you know, play it out and make it work, as we can see. People moving towards that grubby pit, but we do have Monkey at the objective first. And WE, they have a nice position in the river, but that's a very nice Poppy Hammer as they're flashing forward. They want to play it aggressively. Hope even ults KL into the enemy, but still no ultimate for the Nico. That's the good news here for WE. Maybe they can do something as there is a Tibbers running wild. Oh my god! Shags, Tibbers, craziness. Absolutely insane as Flandre even gets the pickup on Monkey here. And they have, did we talk about how they have like several extra members on their team? As Shanks picks up the kill, they have Tibbers and the Maiden. This is so unfair. They are like, you know what? I don't want more kills. I want the second Drake. So they should be fine here.
I started freaking out because I saw, basically, I saw them using Realm Warp, and then suddenly there is a Flash Pop Blossom coming in. Hope?
Oh my god! Hope is super mobile, but has used Flash and Cleanse, therefore Curtain Call Snipe just fits. But we get the first Pop Blossom, and it's an easy kill. Vampire trying to re-engage Cal here, but Tibbers is still there. It's going to make sure that Vampire has no business at all moving in further, as we might get a little bit of a redemption arc here on the mid lane. Tarzan picking up the kill on the enemy jungler, redeeming his AD.
Smashing W.
Yeah, 100%. If we look at the individual gold leads just now, it looks a little insane as Cube is trying to put some work onto this top lane here. Monkey in the area too. Equalizer coming out, but their flashes are being traded, and Flandre goes for the solo bolo kill, and he's 2 levels up on Monkey, and the Maiden just has to tickle him a little bit. So it's a double kill in top lane, and that
we're getting ready for game number 2.
It's really rough. I mean, look, there's always the chance of a throw. We've seen bigger gold leads being thrown as Tarzan is a little bit in a sticky position here. As the Pop Blossom goes just wide because Karis has to flash over the wall. But Flandre just solo kills another person as they're looking for more. Moving further forward. Very nice chase here. Shanks coming in with Tarzan from the side, throwing out the Tibbers once more. And it's an absolute slaughter fest in this bot lane. Holy cow. Honestly, GG go next. I don't even know where the options are for WE in this game. How do they even come back? Is there anything they can really do?
They can head backstage, get their draft ready, and then they can come back by getting back onto their PCs and logging in for Game 2 draft. We are 16 minutes, 10,000 gold. The rats, but
love.
Yeah, We've been seeing a lot of 20k. I know there's at least one 20k gold lead game here in the LPL. I've yet to find it, but I know it happened. Maybe it'll be this game. Maybe we get another one here. Flandre's by himself, no flash, but they do no damage.
Yeah, damage-wise, it's really, really rough. They try to layer the ultimates just as we kind of predicted in draft, but he's able to play this! Very nice ultimate from Monkey over the wall, though. Important kill here for Q, but how much are they losing on the map? The Herald charging through, even stepping back in. And now they're going for a little Tokyo Drift and moving towards that bot lane inhibitor turret as well. First inhib down. They do have the 3 Void Grubs, so this one is going down fast. They're looking to get at least a second inhib here. And I'm not sure, but they can fight it. Okay. Tibbers is there. Cube is absolutely deleted from the map. And now Tibbers is frontlining whilst everyone else is kind of trying to, you know, move out. They've gotten what they came for.
I think this is going to be a game that is going to do a lot of stat padding for some of these players. They are going to look very, very good in the post-game stats coming in through on this one. AL, we're only at 19.5 minutes. They have 3 dragons. They have 7 turrets, 3 grubs, you know, doing one-on-ones with his players, making sure that they are trying to stay as sharp as possible. And especially for anyone's legend, I feel like this has to be the split that they kind of get a lot of things done here in the playoffs, because making it into grand finals in split 1 was amazing. Falling to Top Esports, kind of breaking the history that we saw for them in Demacia Cup where they won versus Top Esports, then losing in grand finals. I feel like that would have been a really good way to kind of cement themselves as the best team here in the region. And while there have been moments where AL have looked like the #1 team, they have fallen short against some of our other top teams. So taking this win versus WE and kind of doing it as clinically as possible is important.
As we can see, another solar flare coming out as well as the equalizer, but the pop blossom in the backline just kills off Karis right then and there, as they're now looking to move further forward. Both the Maiden and the Tibbers, as the additional members of the team are doing a lot of work, but we get another ice ultimate from Monkey. He manages to pick up the reset, but has to give his life in order for his team to, you know, stay alive here in this scenario. But Taeyun is going so low. Hope is being sniped off. But you still have Flandre and Kyle on the map. And that's just enough for at least another inhib, if not actually looking to go for more.
Keep farming structures on repeat, and if they can't end here, well, guess what? There's a dragon in a minute that'll give them soul, and a baron in a minute and a half.
I just wanted to say, look, the inhib is respawning. So much hope for WE, but, well, there's not a lot of hope because the waves just keep pushing in. Maiden and Flandre doing the work together. All inhibs are back down. And I feel like AL, they are just waiting for a wave state that kind of gives them the opportunity to move further forward here. Maybe this is the moment, as they are trapping Taeyun on the side. And now only one turret is standing between them and the Nexus, and Vampire just pops like a bubble, as it's again Tibbers and the Maiden. The additional members of the team going in. Very nice pop blossom underneath the turret, and everyone is just getting absolutely deleted. Taeyun trying to save himself in the base. It's not enough. In the end, it's the clean ace, the triple kill.
I'm so confused by this draft priority. Like the Pantheon Ahri, okay, I get it. Strong setup in mid jungle. The
Ezreal, because one-sided games are fun if you're on the winning side, but apart from that, it can get really boring. As we can find a first knock-up here onto Vampire. They are even flashing in for this, and there is the first blood for AL once more. And I can hear Aragon.
Now, Flandre, you are playing Sion. Tarzan's going to walk right into this, and this could be very dangerous here for WE.
Yeah, Monkey has to be very careful. Tries to use a plant, has to flash over the wall, as Cube is, you know, trying to bodyguard him a little bit, but they're flashing forward. They're playing it aggressively. And now Monkey is in a position. They fight the next kill. Flandre stays alive. Tarzan going down eventually, but they're trying to trade something back as Cube is moving forward. Knockup fits very well here, and Cube has to flash out again. They are not getting a lot back here at all.
It would actually kind of open up a lot of plays for WE, especially on these side lanes, if they go for an overextension.
Yeah.
Some of this, Flandre could very easily just use his ultimate and come down towards the bottom lane, so there might even just be a fight here.
Yeah, they're looking for a charm hit, but Flandre should go down here. Tries to buy some time. The ultimate comes through, but it's just not enough. Very nice Empress divide into Cyclone there. And now with the passive, Flandre wants to come back to the fight. Cube only now arriving. Is that enough for them to trade something back, as Shanks is being charmed, stands very far forward. Picked up eventually, and now AL, they kind of have to run for the hills, because these charms from the side of Car is very nice flash into charm, but it's just not quite enough. Only hits the clone here. Woo! Spicy, but I like this. You know, WE, they are showing fighting will, fighting power, and that's exactly what
little bit of play that we saw where that flash from Karis got the cleanse out. Ooh, they make this dive happen. No one's going to be in the area. Kyle is nowhere nearby.
A very nice chunk out there from the ultimate, as now there's not really anything you can do. Shanks going down, no flash available, full member capacity.
Thankfully for WE, it is very nice for them to... Oh, Flandre, half of his HP gone. It is very easy for WE to hold flanks and use control of this vision. AL are going to try to fight their way through here. They have some pretty big items to start.
Yep, let's look if there's anything they can do. Charm hits on support, but we do get a very nice Cyclone into the backline, but the damage is just not there. Vampire picks up a kill, but now we get the killer instinct from Hope. He's trying to trade something back. Everyone dropping extremely low as Cube is in the ultimate, the all-out, doing a lot of work. Now Flandra in the passive has to put in the work as Hope picks up a double kill.
What is Hope
here,
doing?
But it's already an insane play here by Cube. Hope picks up the double, but Cube, WE, they are TPing in. They want to go for the Drake, and I don't really see a world in which you can play the fight again. Tarzan over the wall, looking for the plant to maybe find something, but the Drake is down. There's not really an angle for you to fight now as Flandra has to flash away from Vampire. And I think you should move away. But they were going in. There's another very nice Cyclone, and they're looking to put out the damage, but Cube again playing a wonderful frontline here for the side of WE. Karis picks up the next kill, and now Flandra is being chased. Charm hits, and he's down. Very well executed by WE here.
What are we doing, AL? Like, why are we fighting? We know that we don't have our Cyclone up. Let's just go and catch our waves. It's going to be Shanks now dying, and another mid-turret.
I mean, very nice try there with the Empress Divide. Hope can try to trade something back, has to flash underneath the turret. Turret aggro eventually does the job, so Cube is going down, but so is his mid lane tier 1. That looked really nice, even though you were in the middle of everyone. Vampire managed to get that Magnet Storm in, and for me, it's really Cube. He's been playing very well. That goes down in the end because, you know, you can only tank so much turret aggro, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But now the Herald. Herald spawns. And we're looking to see if AL can get anything out of this. Another Magnet Storm into Charm. Yeah, that one is done and dusted. KL kind of off to the side there. Not really anything you can do. Turret goes down. But it was a close call as Hope doesn't have Flash, only has Cleanse.
Oh, no!
He tried to ult there, but it didn't work, obviously. Nice headbutt. They're trying again with the Empress Divide, at least forcing some flashes out here, but AL, they're losing.
He's up in this wave, but he's going to instead prioritize being here for the fight instead. More waves being caught. Tarzan and Kyle, they are by themselves.
Oh, that was the instant killer instinct coming out, but they're at least picking up something. Karis gets a kill, but Monkey is down. That's important. Now, Vampire a little too far forward as Karis is being chunked out a little bit too. Still has the Spirit Rush, still looks to find something. Cube now in the area as well. We do get the Ethicon on the map, but no one actually cares because this is about Drake. They want to stop this dragon stacking from the side of WE. They need to get something here for themselves in order to buy themselves time. They need this time. They need the scaling. There is no jungler on the side of WE, so the Drake goes to AL. And now they have to move out, not force another fight.
There was no unstoppable onslaught, no killer instinct available for anyone's legend. They're going to have to look to turn, and there's no charm anymore.
So also don't really have a lot of vision. The only hope they have is that the Ethicon is definitely doing some work here on WE as well. They just have to find an angle to move in. We're looking. Flandra gets charmed. Can play the front line a little bit, but now is knocked into the wall, and they're moving in. The all-out over the wall coming out, but they're actually able to play it. WE is in a really bad position here. The smite sits there, and it's Tarzan who actually manages to pick up the Ethicon, but at what cost? As Hope is trying to get some kills as well as Karis. Very nice Magnet Storm again towards the side, and it's a quadra kill here for Karis and the ace.
Work in this fight on the Ahri. And how much more can WE get from this? Because they don't have a Dragon Soul stacking that's going to be reliable. They really lost refreshing kind of game where we are seeing Karis and Cube step up we haven't seen them do before.
Oh, yep. That was a kill right there, as we also heard the Sional come out, and Flandra trying to trade a little bit here. Karis has to use the ultimate defensively. And now AL, they're kind of moving in, moving forward. Flandra pushing the wave on top lane. They are looking to pick up that tier 1 turret here. Important standing gold for them as well. You know, they need to get back at it a little bit. But I feel like, in my opinion, you know, AL...
Yeah, just go Baron. Go Baron. We have Kaisa, Azir, Shanks. We do not care about this minion wave, guys. I promise you, just hit this turret or hit this objective. This Kai'Sa's already going. Look at this Baron. Can our observers? Let's do a little bit more zoom. I want to see Baron's HP. It's almost dead.
Nope, we're not getting it. We're getting the charm onto KL instead. As Baron goes down, now they can turn towards the fight, but it looks like they are just going to sell their support in order to make sure everyone else gets a free Baron-empowered backport. Looking good as they are not backporting. They are moving far into their top lane, picking up some camps here and there, and now the backport's coming through. But the pings from the side of WE immediately go towards that mid lane. They want to trap here. Oh my god, Flandre, Tarzan in a really bad position. Flandre does not have that flash magnet storm, but there's the cyclone, there's the follow-up, and we suddenly have damage. AL, they are locked in and loaded. Triple kill for Hope. And that, my friends, is a late game Kai'Sa.
All of the damage was put into Flandre, and he's like, I am playing 2 item. I have 1,000 bonus HP from my Soul Furnace.
He TP'd.
I do not care. He's TPing in. They have Baron minion waves. They can try to hit this mid wave as well. They still have Azir. They still have this Kai'Sa. This might have been the turning point. Hope fly through.
Oh my god, Hope is an absolute psychopath going in between the turrets with the killer instinct. I was just wondering. I saw the Void Seek. I was like, that's not enough damage. And then there goes the killer instinct as they're picking up Karis now. And
is that the game?
Yeah, what can I say? It's the AL show once more. They are playing guard the cannon minion here in mid lane as Shanks is pushing on top side as well. Trying to sink the wave. There's a TP into the backline. TP into the backline. Cube has to put in the work as the turret goes down for the Azir, who cannot come here just yet. And they're finding something, but Monkey is just not dealing enough damage so far. Cube has to be the damage dealer, but Hope is in the area. Hope can do a lot of work. Very nice flash forward. All out onto Hope. Hope is down, and that is the point where WE have to capitalize off of this, but it's just not enough. Cube goes down. Vampire is being chased, and it was a nice try, honestly. Good idea here from WE as Tarzan is just tanking the turret, getting ignited, you know. He's just taking all the damage. It does not matter. And again, AL with the upper hand.
I gotta say, Mila, I feel like AL have turned the corner here. I feel like they have gone to that portion of the game where they are nigh unkillable. Too many mistakes coming in from Team WE. Karis has to use a Spirit Rush. Like a 2,500 gold lead before this part of the game. And now completely evaporated. Shanks by himself. Gets a bit of a magic damage shield here, but look at how much health he has from the Rylai's.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of work, trying to buy some time. You use the Magnet Storm, use the Spirit Rush. Monkey moved in as well. They're trying to snipe him with the Trusha Barrage. It's not going to be enough. Void Seeker going just wide, but they still pick up the kill. Karis is down, and now Tarzan goes for another Cyclone into Killer Instinct Taehyun. 07 in chat for enemy ADC. This is not working out for them at all anymore. And they've reached, in my opinion, the point of no return. The scaling on the side of AL has completely taken over. They should have ended this game by minutes 25, and they didn't manage to do it. So now it's theirs to lose. Man.
Yep, Cube, let's see it. Any magician work does he have? You know, he still has the all out. It's him and Monkey. Base is fallen.
Yep, they're looking for it, but Cube really in a bad position here, completely left alone, is not even able, pulls the all out a little bit too late as even the Empress Divine comes out one last time, and again, AL taking over the game. They did make some mistakes here early on. Because you want to roam, and you also have the ability to really, you know, screw up your team's fighting when you ult it.
Yeah, that's a disgusting trade. Really good job from Shanks here. They're getting Prio and maybe even trying to make a play on mid lane. Karis getting so much of his HP chunked here.
Oh my god, he has to flash underneath the turret, and Shanks can just step back, take the first blood. Nice kill, important
First dragon of the game. Still 2 minutes before those grubs. They can swap if they want to. They're okay with Flandre being into the Ashe, especially early on. Should be advantage for Taehyun, so he'll continue to...
Especially when you play it yourself and you're not in Challenger Elo. Sometimes you just don't use it enough, as we can see Tarzan moving in. Taehyun has the flash.
Oh, Tarzan!
Also goes. That was an insane ultimate. Crystal Arrow is gone, but the Glacial Fisher trying to trade something back here as Monkey has to flash over the wall. And they are getting a second kill here. AL moving into that grubby pit, having a little bit of an advantage there. Now Shanks will kind of accept their fate here and not go for the contest anymore, because Tarzan is just too far away. Unless he wants to flash in there, he shouldn't do it. Bard ultimate into a little bit of a bullet rain here. Just not enough damage so far.
They have no crowd control. Outside of Kael throwing the Tempered Fate, there's really no way for them to start fights. the way that AL are going to always look to try to play this game is try to chunk out one member, create a numbers advantage by poking them out before a fight, and maybe do long chases like this outside of objectives. So they haven't really been able to accomplish all that much, at least in the last 30 seconds. It'll be them contesting for this Raptors camp, getting pushed.
That NMF can put in that 1v9 performance later on in the game, but it will take some time as Kale moves forward again. For Faith coming out, but the shockwave into Glacial Fissure is just beautiful. And now you're stuck in a little bit of a sticky situation as the Crystal Arrow goes wide though, with Tarzan moving in. They manage to stay alive here, pick up the takedown this turret for sure. They also have the 3 Void Grubs, which then gives them even more, you know, ability to do so, as there's a lot flying in this top lane here, and it's not flying in the right direction. So the shockwave being gone, clone being used for Shanks has to flash out. Ultimate from the Bard coming in as they're stuck in a bit of a tricky position here. Bullet time now trying to do some work, but the Bard shield, the Braum shield rather, coming out right away as the cleanse from Hope has been used. Now they have to find a re-engage over the wall. Flandra moving in as well, and in the end is Hope picking up the kill, and I have no clue how they saved that situation.
Wow.
The good news for WE is they managed to pick up the first turret, their first turret in top lane. So at least a bit of a cross-map play, but that was messy.
Sure. Yeah, I just, AL, they get to play with so much abandon. I mean, it's great to see that the rest of the team is kind of performing. This play really was predicated on getting that Tempered Fate to slow down Cube and this Gwen. So the heal coming out from Flandra saves them. They grab the...
AL have always found ways to, you know, move together as a unit. Kale putting in so much work as the Crystal Arrow goes wide again, and therefore Engage Tool gone now with the Tempered Fate coming out into the Bullet Rain. Yes, you can throw up the Braum shield, but Shanks is in the backline. Shanks is looking for the knife, and he gets it! Oh my god! That was just beautiful. That bullet time. You do get a nice shockwave out. Kale's dropping very low, but they can just move further forward. Monkey, last one standing in this scenario, as we have Cube on the side lane, but there's no reason for him to move into this. Robertson's now completed on that Orianna. He said it, maybe not the greatest decision. However, it is some sort of an item spike. So let's see if they can do some work.
But they didn't even wait though. But they didn't wait. Like the whole point of us doing the setup before was, hey, we're getting our second items. Let's wait before, let's buy our items, and then we can look for an engage. That didn't end up happening. AL found a moment where the Enchanting Crystal from Taeyun misses. At this point, Cube should be teleporting to this play. I think it's a massive mistake. Maybe recognizing that this is just in general should not be a fight that WE are taking, but at this point, you have to go all in. Everybody gets
a lot of abilities. They have to be a bit careful not to step too far forward as they are looking to contest their own jungle. And now we're going in again. TPs are coming out as Tarzan has to use the Crescent Guard. Very nice way from the Braum trying to save his team, but there is just not enough damage. The Needlework trying to do some work. Can they get some more? It's important, but it's already the double kill, the triple kill for Hope though. Cleans up the fight once more. Another ace, and they are looking to push because we saw Cube. Cube is able to put in the work. He has been putting in the work on the side lanes every now and then as we now get the 1v1. Has to use the needlework, has to go golden even. And now Half-Life has to step back. There's nothing they can do. And we know. Man, a Fat LeBlanc is so disgusting as well. Like, she steps on you one time, you're Half-Life. It's done. Crystal Arrow coming out, but immediate reaction again with KL with the Tempered Fate. Now with the bullet time not being blocked, enemy AD carry immediately down. Cube trying to put in the work in the backline, trying to get some damage onto Hope, but it's Shanks again going unstoppable as Flandra is looking for the triple kill here. Monkey trying to kite and kite and kite away. He's putting in some work. Going untargetable one more time, but in the end it's Shanks again. Another ace. The wave is there. Can they look to end here? They definitely want to. 8 seconds on Vampire. But Vampire alone will not be able to save WE from this absolute destruction. Game 1 was a stump. Game 3 was a scaling comeback. Game 2 rather, and Game 3 was...
exactly the kind of competition Weibo want. So despite the fact that they're being on red side and some red side drafts having been suspect in the LPL, I wouldn't necessarily get as easy a prio.
Level 3s here for Jun, early engaged. Charm flash from Scout over the minions, and Xiaohu holding his flash gets out to safety. Now Tian locked in the ring. Scout with no flash here gets knocked up by Tian. And the red buff being applied. One more audacious charge. A stun over the wall from Jun actually keeps his mid laner alive and sacrifices himself to give first blood to Xiaohu.
I mean, you saved your Ari, right? She's going to be able to get recall and TP back.
If my mid laner could have not died, we would have taken that one. But Scout definitely here, I mean, coming out on the worst end of trades. And Jun still looking to make something happen here as he passes up into that top side ward from Arla. Gives vision over. Q goes wide. That empowered Pantheon spell now completely wasted it. A flash out from Breathe. Arla flashes to follow. Comes on through. Arla about 1 HP. May just be able to kite it on out here. Breathe doing the best he can with potions and grasp, and may still do it, but Arla dashes back in. Slices 1, dices 2, and the kill's picked up.
That's the sneaky.
Just dinged in the mid lane for Scout, and we're setting up here with a TP coming down as well. This is just going to be Pays returning to the fight. A serrated Dirk in the inventory. It's going to be a flip, going to be a 50-50. Scout on the top side here. Missing goes in, double pulverized, stolen away is the dragon, and Jun picks that up, no doubt. Missing goes down, and Weibo are running this fight to begin with. Finally, Scout comes in, looking to dish damage out. Tian falls light, low on the backside. A stun comes through to stop that piercing arrow. Pays still wailing away here. It's the bot lane for Weibo that are going to go down. Erha just barely able to dish out one final concussive blow before he falls, and it's JDG who get the dragon, get the fights, and find themselves the advantage.
Sometimes in LPL you just kind of have to ask the question of why, you know?
Yeah.
Why did we choose to take this fight? We have scouts on top side, so we have to TP in if they want to contest this.
Yeah, Weibo, I mean, they're first to the Drake here. They're looking to take it. This time secured, but missing. Charging forward, attempting to get out to safety. The Realm Warp from Xiao, who just gets his support and his jungler out to safety. And right now, double TP's expended by Weibo to send Breathe back up to the top side, but with a Drake take, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, Weibo, I think, learned their lesson. They want to avoid the fights. They use the Realm Warp to manage to get out of there, and JDG thinking, okay, we missed the dragon. If we can get kills, if we can kill them, then it's good for us. But Weibo evaded that, so but JDG will have to try a little bit harder to keep the momentum going before they get faced with this Yorick and this Rise in the side lane.
And a little bit, maybe just a bit delayed by Scout here, as they couldn't really take the fight. But now they're looking to dive down on the bot side. 4 versus 2. Chain of Corruption linking up with a headbutt pulverize from Missing. And everybody from JDG lives. No harm, no foul. Plates as well. Scout gets on the ball. No, and you can see here JDG now really starting to flex their muscles. Little ward over the wall to try and spot out potential contesters. As Missing now a little bit locked up, forced to flash out over that wall. Tien, when becomes lighting, not quite with the range. And Weibo lose out on their own blue buff, losing out on turret plates down on this bot side. And maybe Arla's actually just going to take the whole turret to himself. So bot lane tier 1 falls, a little bit of gold into the Renekton's back pocket, a stolen away blue buff, and again these dominoes beginning to fall, but Weibo starting their own little assault into the jungle here.
I mean, importantly,
Does get rooted up, does get knocked up, does get stunned, and does go down. Finally Weibo with a little bit of a bounce back.
yeah, but importantly, I think
Scout also has TP, and he's now base TP'd back in, but importantly isn't going to have that spirit rush if a fight breaks out nice and early. Like doing a little bit of early harass takes Missing down to about half HP, and even a little extra Mystic shot takes him that little bit lower. Arla's still bot side as well with teleport, so going to look for a pretty big flank here. Weibo do secure the Rift Herald, but again the question remains, can they get out to safety? Here comes the Grand Starfall as Xiao, who gets knocked up, locked up, taken down. Light running for the high hills as Arla turns back for the Yorick, who finally forces the flash, but this time round not going to be able to get out so easily. Scout takes down Light. Breathe the next one to fall underneath this tier 1 turret, and JDG are running amok in Weibo's jungle.
Oh, absolutely. I think even though Breathe had the Hex Gates, right, this is a fight that should still be in JDG's with the Grand Starfall. As long as we're able to get the TP flank with the jungle not immaculately cleaned by Weibo, then we're still in a position where JDG will win these fights.
And we didn't actually see, or in picture-in-picture, we got to see that JDG did lose Scout, overextended a little bit, and Weibo managed to find a little bit of a response. Another kill picked up for them in recompense, as Xiaohu continues to be really the only on that mid lane.
No one saw it. Anyway, Renekton, the other thing to note is we talked about the importance of, as we see them falling down a little bit in the side lane. We talked about the importance of the side lanes for Weibo, but if you see bot lane, if you look at the minimap at all, you see Renekton able to keep pushing.
But JDG not really looking to give too much time over to Weibo. Reminder that they are the team that we've set her on the clock here in this game, that the scaling for Weibo is pretty good, and missing, not giving them that time to scale. Realm Warp 4 Tien has been prepped, and he's able to get out between them. Again, JDG not giving them that chance. They have turned up to this Atacon. They've already started hitting it, and Tien takes a decent chunk on his way in from Scout, and maybe for Weibo, that's good enough just to say, actually, we're done. That's it.
I mean, Weibo finally learned to say no to a fight. It only took them 20 minutes. It's fine. As JDG secure the Atacon.
It's a give on the Dragon in an attempt to maybe try and take Scout down up here.
I don't know if they're trying to take Scout down. I think they're just trying to get a turret. That's kind of what Yorick wants to do, right? They're willing to give up the Dragon for that, so at least a tier 2, but they're splitting the gold between the Rise and the Yorick. I think they're just trying to get the solo lanes farmed.
Waves start to clear out a little bit of the vision established in the river. 25 minutes has been hit, and now they're looking to collapse a little bit more aggressively. Erha doesn't get taken for the ride. Light's now chucked into the middle of everybody. Hayes flashed on, but he gets out to safety as well. Xiaohu locked up, charmed up, but still alive, as Light still chunking damage, throwing it down, and Weibo actually coming out on top. They make the play, they get aggressive, and they come out on top. An Unbreakable from Erha saves him from the damage from Scout. And a quick 2-0 on the top side. Weibo Gaming, come by.
But for Ezreal, that matters significantly less. No flash on Varus is going to significantly decrease his ability to do damage in the next neutral fight. So, interesting trade coming out for sure.
Chen lands the wind, becomes lightning. Doesn't want to take the aggressive push on it, as Ala's getting a little bit of a fight on to breathe here. Help from June as they take down the Yorick without any problems. Scout in the mid lane, forced to use Spirit Rush to get out to safety, and missing it's going to be traded by JDG. So a 1-for-1 support for top laner here. A winning trade so far for JDG.
Yep, and Pays still with no flash, so very few flashes in fact, but Tien does have a
Light
flash.
walking on a pink ward, but they pick up Ala first. He flashes out with the Dominus active, and Erha gets charmed and taken out. Unbreakable does not give him anything. Now Xiaohu, no flash, shot him head up, butted into a wall. Wow. Pays knocked back, but that's not going to do enough. Unbreakable will keep him alive, and Xiaohu's golden, but he still goes down. Breathe not a part of this. Ala able to TP back in. 2-for-0, JDG will take the soul.
And that was a really interesting fight to watch, because we see Tien actually come in initiating that, but separated around that bit of terrain there. Easy for JDG to pick off one target and then keep pushing from there and split the rest of the fight. So really good understanding of both the terrain and how their team wants to play. So even though we are putting up gold, we get the pick off. It's kind of like whoever fights first, right? Okay, we're getting flamed for no reason, as Tien is also going to get flamed by his jungle, heading into the red buff taken down by JDG. And now with the Hextech Soul, Scout goes in attempting to predict Charm out as Light. Locked up, 2-for-0, 3-for-0, make it more, and JDG with that Soul are just not stopping. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the average age.
So was I. I was stuck there as well.
Anyway, JDG actually have an opportunity where they can end here. It's like 34 minutes, or 34 seconds before Ezreal's back.
Eyes on Xiaohu here. He's got to try and clear those waves. He gets immediately headbutt pulled and taken to the grave. Breathe will do what he can, but there is nothing this Undertaker can do to take down JDG. And game number 1 is picked up by your 3rd seed. A little bit of KDA padding, some stat farming to be done in the base as well. Tien, not going to go...
Front to back, very much a valid option, right? For the side of JDG, playing multiple angles through the Vi, through the Annie. Very, very valid.
It's going to have to at least get some sort of protection, you'd like to think. And, you know, there is a cost for Tien going for that gank. It was 5-10 seconds delayed on his clear, but in exchange for a mid lane flash, that is absolutely worth the trade. As topside, we're seeing some good brawling going down. Arla looking for Breathe, Grass Procs being traded, and now Tien once again did this in game 1, didn't die mid lane this time round. He's looking for Arla to burn the flash before using that pillar, chomping him down. Finally, the flash comes through. They're going for the dive here, and one more smack, and Tien finds first blood.
I was worried because, I mean, like, Breathe knows he can only take one tower shot, but now the cross map on the bottom side of the map.
Polymorph gets cleansed, but Light still not anywhere to go. Gets down under the turret. Missing flashes over the wall so the Airhead doesn't whack him one to go down as well. It's a trade across the map. Light goes down, initiated by Weibo to begin with. And all that being said, there are 4 people heading up toward this top side, but Missing and Pays are nearby. Whether they engage on this or not remains to be seen, and they're actually looking for Missing. Flash from Airhead knocks up the Lulu, and she gets taken down instantly. Airhead maybe gets traded. Scout on an angle here, double Storm, double Tivers, finds one in response. Pays is still going crazy, not yet level 6, but doesn't need it, as Tien also clubbing away at this Scion. Soul Furnace keeps him alive for a little bit longer, and actually baits in Light. He may fall as well now, as Scout throws out his last spell, last bit of mana, and Pays trading. Got a need to go over the wall. No level 6. Pays finds 3 in the top side.
It's an absolute disaster. Scion health bar at all, and Pays cleaned up the front line. Finds his way onto Light. Easy as you like. And
looks like it's not stopping
he's
there
going to find
either.
Xiaohu, apparently.
It is going from bad to worse for Weibo through this early game. We valued that both of these teams, they've got elements of that scaling, but as we get later on, Azeri is going to out DPS Azaya, no doubt, and with a 1400 gold lead already for Pays in this early game, JDG can again feel very confident with their position in this game, as Erha and Light maybe looking to once again engage onto Missing, but Scout's there, Pays is ready, and Jun's here as well. Weibo, the bot lane, have overextended, they flexed their hand, and they will fall.
Rude, it's looking, well, let's just say this sequence hasn't been pleasant to Weibo.
The evolution is back. Missing is forced to flash, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's totally. That might not be okay though. Oh my god.
He's getting
getting something.
Goober one shot by Breathe is the 10. JDG are going to start off this dragon.
They want to contest, and I don't mind this because Breathe's here. They're not going to get the dragon. They might find the fight afterwards.
So Pays has Hop ready to go over the wall, all out immediately onto Jun, who just gets enough HP to actually flash out over the wall. And for Weibo, that's a disaster. Now Arla knocks up Tien, who gets double stunned. Scouts Tibbers finds 2 as well. Arla's running amok on the backline, and they cannot take him down. Breathe has nowhere near the same consequence, and Pays flashing forward once again on the Zeri, already on a double kill. Ultra Shock Laser not quite finding Light as he sidesteps that one, but JDG
80
come out.
seconds to 60 seconds, which is a big deal for a semi-global like that.
I mean, so then for Arla, a pretty big win is a TP up to this top side here. We saw this from Weibo in game number 1, where they're just trying to either take a turret, force down a Scion with no ulti, no flash as well. Knockup does land, and Arla's in a little bit of trouble here. Empowered Rock thrown to the face. It's not even going to land as Breathe takes the kill beforehand.
Yeah, it does feel like a bit of an unnecessary death. They saw him fly across the map. So, you know, it's not like Arla didn't know that play was coming, but still goes down nonetheless. And
He's
the tower's
so
going to be
surprised
shared.
by the Talia spawning
You
in
know
top
what?
lane. How did this happen?
I think he's more... Alright, if we're to give him benefit of the doubt, he's probably more surprised that he came from the front instead of the back. You know, like, if I'm Arla there, I'm expecting a Weaver's Wall, just from in between the tier 1 and 2. Not a
maybe a bit more time to try and slow play it and use the turret maybe a little bit more to your advantage instead of just getting knocked up underneath it and take
Herald
just go
will get dropped
down
as well.
here. And for Tian, that's a tool used. Xiaohu, in fact, is going to ride this in, and we're TPing into the mid lane here. Something's going to happen. Scout gets stunned initially. Arla whiffs on the unstoppable onslaught, and remember, no flash for this Scion just yet. Lulu to buy some space, some time, but the Scion goes down. Flash for flash between Breathe and Pays, and now the Zeri can go a little bit nuclear. Charm, knock up, CC chained as Xiaohu leaks it up, and Pays is down, and now Weibo, they have control over mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, Pays is just looking to squeeze a little bit too hard there for the extra damage. Missing used his ultimate and his heal. Hold on a second, it's an extra dive.
They're going for even more here. Missing dodges out on the seismic shove, but Shun's going to go down. Scout flashes into 3. Finds a stun on the wall, but nobody falls. And now he's just resigned himself to death. Erha lives as well, and Weibo have found a fight.
Goodness me. I mean, fair play Weibo, but he just questions asked again. Not only of Arla, but this time and then eventually Pays, right? No one can really... Arla's not buying space here. Pays isn't really dumping damage into meaningful targets. And then Missing uses the heal and the ultimate, and this is why this is crucial.
Again, with Tian having a really solid early game, finding the gank mid lane to force Scout's flash, finding the kill top side to give Breathe that early opener into the laning phase, and you know, by extension giving him the tools to be able to take down Pays the Dragon, knowing that Pays is the carry. Double TPs have come through from both sides as Xiaohu's wall cuts off Shun, cuts off Pays. Should both be able to get over the wall here. Early knock up onto Breathe, he's able to get out to safety. Looking like a comical flip here as Pays forced to dash away. Smite secured by Tian. And Weibo now looking forward here. They've stolen the Atakan away, and that's going to be enough for them.
All right, well, fair play Shun. That could have been a pretty bad play. You lose Shun there in a situation like that. Maybe you end up losing tier 2 on the top side. Oh my goodness.
Arla flashed you. 1 point. The unstoppable onslaught. Xiaohu did have to flash away, but he's on the wrong side of the wall. He will go down. And it's another shutdown. It's this time in Pays' pocket.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, that might just be the science behind it, to be honest with you. This dragon is going to go completely uncontested by JDG. They don't want any business to do with that.
And this now does change.
Tier 1 on the top side.
With the Atacon going down, how the fights are looking to play out, that's a pretty big boost of experience for a lot of Weibo. It helps them sort of stay relevant in this game. Looking to route JDG out of mid lane, they've established control over that wave, and they probably lose the tier 2 here as a consequence for their actions. They spent time looking towards the Baron, they didn't find it, and Weibo come out on top.
Yeah, good reactions there from Weibo to just strip away what they acknowledge they can from JDG's rather rush attempt at the Baron. They're going to catch this mid wave high as well, just kind of keep JDG suffocated a little bit. Or they go too far. Maybe they give an angle to Scout on Shun.
Yeah, unstoppable onslaught blocked by the pillar there as the charm comes through, but Erha unfortunately stunned. He's used the quickness, and now they don't have that tool, and JDG immediately turn tail up toward the Baron once again, sacrificing control over that mid wave, so they have to start this up early. Missing though, caught by the pillar. Not going to burn the flash, walks the long way round, and again it's Jun this time forced to flash out. Re-engaged onto Tian, and JDG are going forward. It looks good for them, and that's because it is. Jungle is so far traded, but Pays is unleashing his damage onto Weibo. Tries to flash forward, go a little bit aggressively here. Still with that summoner spell available, and now just waiting for that ulti to wear out. Arla taking up the damage of Light in the front line, and Lightning crashes out, and JDG go for a 1-for-1, and Weibo once again.
Zyra, it feels like he needs to deal damage without being turned on or one-shot in this kind of composition. As Xiaohu is now the target of an engage.
But he's pulled in Jun deep, and he's going to get taken down very quickly over the wall, and far too aggressive. JDG lose their jungler with Baron and Dragon alive. Now JDG, they've got to fight their way out of this. Pays hops over the wall. He's the carry. He's the threat that Weibo need to focus. And so far, they've not found access. Just a little bit of attention focused onto Missing. It's a 1-for-0 still in favor of Weibo, but what do they do with this?
I mean, a Baron start, right? Shun's dead. He's not on the map. Ultimates are available for JDG, but the one that's super important to me really is the Wild Growth. It provides so much space to Pays. Not being there. Can the presence dissuade this Baron? That's the question.
Playing up on this top side, wants to be able to pivot out if possible, but Xiaohu has based. He's come back in on a flank angle. With a double knock-up, but JDG looking to take this fight themselves. Breathe already very low in the front line, stands tall as the Baron falls. Weibo get in, they get out. Way. Are they unscathed here as Light's been left to leave his own devices? He goes down, a 1k kill for Pays, but 4 members take the Baron.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Pays might be basing for a 5th item right now. Weibo get out with the ultimate prize, however, with the Nash, and they're going to get this 4th dragon, so they're going to be very speedy out on the map,
is
out of combat.
Soul point here for Weibo that they take, and they are going to still have. JDG started up nice and early.
Nice and early indeed. Can
Scouts
they
on this
secure the
flank
smite?
angle.
That's the big question.
So it's secured. The soul not picked up by Weibo. Scout waiting for Weibo to ingress into their jungle, and maybe they know that somebody's there. An initial stun stops him from throwing up the pillar, and Tien gets the subjugate down, but is it too late? Absolutely not! Pei's knocked up, Scout flashes forward! Thunderstorm by Light keeps himself safe, and Pei's into the GA now. Ulti goes down, and Weibo breathe, taking Scout over the wall, and Pei's still alive. Arla falls. A 2-for-1 so far as Scout actually looking, and he gets more! Dashing forward, takes down 2, takes down 3. It's overall just JDG coming on top and take.
Light has to use the ultimate and the cleanse, and Pei's is able to get so much damage out. Even
Light,
dies. Oh.
They're looking. Pei's. They found one. They found 2. The Zeri is dead.
They're picking mid. They're not even picking the Baron. They want to end the game now that Pei's is dead. We're 38 minutes into this.
And they might just be able to do it here, Tamada. Their AD carry is down. The carry of this team, the Pei's train that we set up early, has fallen. Scout and Arla, the only 2 carries left alive. Weibo don't seem to care.
Scout is on a mission.
He's on a flank of all flanks here, trying to get access, but he's being marked by Breathe. Arla's job here to try and clear the wave. Scout as well burns his cooldowns onto Breathe, and JDG, they're just buying time. 20 seconds left still for Pei's. Scout falls as well, but that wave, it's still alive. 1 minion, 1 Nexus turret is all they need, and Weibo Gaming against the 8-kill Zeri 12 minutes into this game.
See the LeBlanc and think victory is on its way. That said, there isn't really a lot of easy to use the two but you're kind of 45-50% HP, because once LeBlanc has that mimic, rotation ultimate back up, that is just straight up lethal, right? And the Azir doesn't really have a meaning.
That's what you hate to see. Well, he's going to try and make up for it by taking some grubs. He gets plus 30 off of that one. Jun will be annoyed at him for taking some of the gold, and he's actually pivoting up toward this top side.
Oh, wow.
Missing uses Erher as a taxi. Scout flashes in, and Light has been left to the wolves. He tries to trade back, but he is going to fall. It's a 2-for-0 and the grubs. And JDG find a nice little fight for themselves.
Really, really nice.
Hopping over a wall, QR, land a chain, and that's normally, a good chunk of somebody's health bar that will go down. That said, though, Scout not doing too badly in the poke wars himself, as it's JDG starting up the Dragon, looking to trade this 1-for-1, and Tien on the top side. What does he do with this free time? Well, so far it's looking like he's going to steal away a Gromp, but Arla's playing very safely, very respectfully on that top side as well.
Yeah, doesn't want to give over a kill or any more.
Lurking in the backline, notorious late game threat. You've got a good front line in that Poppy. Won't call it an amazing one, but certainly something that can stand in the front. And with the MF as well, not a champion that notoriously does a lot of damage as you move later on into the game. Happy for JDG to try and take this a little bit slower, and with that, Tien is the one that flashes forward. Impale's missing and decides we actually want some action here. Aftershock keeps him alive for a little bit longer, but not long enough, and it's going to be Breathe that picks up the first kill for Weibo.
Yeah, cheeky little pick after the objective. Scout not going to elect to hit this top tier 2 here, and Weibo are going to just try for the time being. Tien is just going to give him the hover, right? And ward is going to let Tien know he's there, but unfortunately the JC has just about enough range to be able to buffer Tien out of his own little bit of CC.
Yeah, that's a very nice interaction for the Jace to have on his side as Xiaohu hops forward. Chain's going to land, and a quick half HP trade gives Xiaohu a little bit of a leg up, but when Scout took the turret, he's just going to go back and recall and has teleport to get back into this fight. With Drake spawning in about 5 seconds time, both team has 1 Drake apiece. Scout goes back, recalls, doesn't actually pick up anything from his items as he moves into the mid lane, and Missing looks for an engage. Doesn't really seem to have found anything too great, as it's actually Light finding the first kill, and Tien just falls on the back half of this. Pei's dashes out of one distortion, gets caught by the other, and Xiaohu takes JDG on a merry dance as Scout flashes forward, throws soldiers into Narnia, and gives his life for the cause. Breathe goes forward and buys the rest of the space, and now Pei's has to run for the high hills. Breathe with flash up, ready, goes on top of the JDG AD carry, and he's going to get out to safety for now, but a big win for Weibo in mid lane.
A big win for Weibo, but the pressuring Pei's in that fight too to really shut his ability down to open up with those 2 items. So all in all, Weibo just do a fantastic job of navigating that exchange.
And it does feel really good for...
It was kind of leashed by the end of it, as just putting the positional advantage gained to immediate use, securing this tier 1 in the mid lane. Side lane waves and scenarios well. The objectives are often just so much more important to handle, as Xiaohu is just going to deal a bunch of damage to Arla.
That was just QR.
Yep.
Yep. So imagine a chain on top of that, and you know that's quite possibly just lethal damage at the minute for the LeBlanc, who's looking pretty.
Like,
I think that's...
it's gonna be done. They're gonna be done before we are.
Yeah. And maybe JDG are looking to make that happen a little bit sooner as the engage comes through from missing, but once again it's a solar flare onto Ascana, who has still got 4,000 HP to go, but that looks a little more convincing. Xiao, who flashes and dashes into the backline to find nothing. Air has low, won't go down, missing once again. Goes forward and finally falls. The first kill goes to Weibo, but JDG are cleaning up. Breathe the next to fall. Xiao, who's got to distort out to safety. And Light's flash might just be 1 second just too late. And JDG find the fight, find the kills. And now they can turn tail, head toward the Baron.
Yeah, head towards the Baron for sure. Xiaohu chunks out Shun. Is he going to find a bit more than that?
Steadfast presence.
He's got him.
Just solo kill him. Who's the assassin here, Jamada? Jun or Xiaohu?
I mean, it's the Poppy with the Sundered Sky, of course. Like, come on now. It's just the front line to deal with, and then this is where things get funky. Xiaohu sees, you know, a 1.4k no magic resist target, but the Steadfast Presence reaction time is there. He can't dash back, so the second part of the Q connects, and the Buckler auto was buffered before the distortion comes through on the return for Xiaohu. And now, as we come out of the replay, JDG is sieging onto the bottom side of tier 2.
And now with the Baron, the game you'd like to think will open up, and hold on a second, Jun's just caught Xiaohu and taken him once again. I mean, about half HP from that LeBlanc is, again, very threatening. Her dashing forward now makes it much more difficult, and you know, if Paige just gets a couple quick autos, maybe that's going to be enough, as Weibo lurking here on this bot side, still attempting to defend this tier 2, but Paige already took the tier 2 in the mid lane. He pivots down to the bot side, and they find that without any real pressure either. And a slam into the wall onto Tien, who does just get melted. The culling to finish off the job, and Arla's auto will finish the deal as Jun also very low. Bullet time, Magnet Storm combo looks good, but Scout eviscerates Light in the backline. And Breathe now is the next target. Xiaohu's dashing away, Breathe is out, and 1 HP left for Xiaohu as they take the bot side and seem to be taking this game by storm.
Yeah, and you can see why Rylai's is such a frustrating item on Azir to deal with. I know there's a lot of discussion amongst not just Azir players, that was just the Leandries, right? Like flat out. And,
yeah.
The damage is still pretty comparable auto to auto. But if you get 4 more autos in because of the Rylai's, then yeah, it's you know, it's a bit. Whilst it's not necessarily the most gold in the world at this point in the game, in terms of just pressure, it'll be good as goodbye for the time being, Xiaohu. But
that was solar flare as well.
Yeah, it was solar flare, but we won't talk about it. Oh, hello, actually, Shun might be in a bit of trouble. Impale.
Flash from Tien here, gets out of that dangerous position, but it's already 1. That's going to be 2, and despite the bullet time reigning over missing, Pays has dashed in. He's taken down 1, and the rest of the team will follow up to keep him alive. 5-0, JDG take game 3.
Not quite 5-0. Xiaohu squeaked out somehow.
Oh,
which is
well, he should have
very
died.
Big surprise. But he should have died, I agree. And even with him being on the map, I don't think he's going to be able to do too much here. Steadfast presence, goodbye.
And it's JDG that bounce back their blue side game right back on top, and with a game.
It feels like a Page champ, doesn't it? Like some of the majors that he's willing to pull out, like Vizier.
Yeah.
I can't say, bro. Sure, like Renekton mid, but it's like sure, but also Galio could just be made not to play the game here, as Barrier comes through just to stop some of the trade damage.
Yeah, I mean, the rebuttal doesn't do anything here, and Missing is just dead. Has dinged level 3 and decided that he wants to take down Missing. No, it's not just Arla.
Flash.
I don't know that that's going to be enough here, Jamada. He is under the turret. He is exhausted now. A TP's coming through, but he is just dead. Kill goes over to Arla, and Light, unfortunately, kind of left to be fending for himself.
We've got to get Yo, Bree.
He's stopping recalls. He's stopping recalls. And you know what? He's done a successful job on one aspect as Jun is able to have to walk the long way back. And now Xiaohu ready with Flash, looking to try and taunt his way in. Gets Arla, gets Jun as well. And it's another kill for the set support. 2-0 on the set. And now with Equalizer up, it's clearing the wave, baby.
Yeah, clear the wave. Good job. I mean,
ADG in a pretty comfortable position to take this Drake. Good time to remind and to maybe look a little bit at the win conditions for both of these two teams. Of the Equalizer, and second Dragon of the game looks to be started up by Weibo. Now, again, you have to imagine that if JDG wanted to counter for a Dragon, so much more worthwhile if you are Weibo in this situation. Is Jun finds Breathe and is immediately flashing on top of him, scouts in tandem, and the hook pulls him right back in. Explosive charge takes down the Rumble.
Yeah, Bree will fill this one up, and they'll be 1 kill away from securing feats of strength overall.
Arla will respond with first turret down on that bot.
They randomly screwed up the ratio on Galio, so going full AP, like every tick was more or less doing like the damage it would do when it would hit you. And okay.
He's just not able to move. Scout finally gets the rocket jump away, but there's a killer instinct into the backline, and Light not actually able to find it as now Call the Forge God gets interrupted. Arla airballs on that one, and now he's just about able to walk out to safety as Tien comes forward, takes down Missing, and now Arla left under the turret in a 5 versus 1 situation. His odds aren't looking too good for this one.
Yep, he's dead. Tower goes down as well, and feats were secured for Weibo. Oh man, I mean that was a huge set of kills. Thankfully for JDG, Paze was able to answer out on that tier 1, but Weibo can go further, right? Because of the amount of kills they got and where Shun was positioned on the map when this player was going down. They didn't pick up the tier 2, but this overreach potentially is now leading to teleports, and Scout is here on the flank.
Yeah, he's looking for one, and there's a really deep TP in here from Xiaohu as he finds one quick taunt. Tien looks for Scout, but doesn't quite find him, and with the TP in from Xiaohu to bail his team out, they get tier 2 turret on the top. They're still hunting.
He's in that much danger.
Well, he is probably just fine. It's Erha maybe who's going to be left and sacrificed. However, his team are here. Tien was sniffing around the entire time, comes back in to try and help out. Cyclone onto Jun as he just takes down the Neferi without any real recompense. Now another killer instinct into the backline as Light finds Paze, flashes over the wall, double kill for the Kaiser.
Rude. I think that whole sequence might have just broken JDG.
Yep.
They lose out on that play so hard on the top side. That just felt like a tilt play. Through and through, just looking for something, just hungry for a play. Dragon's up, you know, like, go get set up over there. Make the life of Weibo difficult to play around that instead. Via the vision, they just weren't able to do it, and now they're losing out more than ever.
Still not done. They've taken down the tier 2 turret with the Rift Herald, and Arla maybe one more auto attack away from safety as now Scout's trying to break Tien free from that Rift Herald. He jumps forward, and honestly wouldn't have been too surprised if they actually tried to re-engage, because you've got no jump, you've got no reason being there, and now Light is going to tear you to shreds as well. Facebreaker pulls down one. Jun still dashing forward, gets knocked up by the Justice Punch, gets taken down. A Golden Eclipse is going to find one, but it's a double kill, triple kill already for Light, as Weibo are still sieging forward. Paze finally able to take down the Kaiser, and Xiaohu might be able to get a response. But this is just JDG throwing themselves at Weibo and getting nothing for it. Xiaohu finds the kill onto Paze, flashes out as well. Absolute disaster for Jindong Gaming. Does get caught by a snare and stops the Penta in its tracks. Maybe would have been able to space out Arla, but there is a Dragon. I won't call it a fight going down because Weibo did just take it relatively uncontested, and they're only up 3,000 gold, which in the grand scheme of things feels like they could have been up way more, or should have been up way more, as Weibo now on the Atakan as well. There's Erha with the engage, there's the follow-up, and there's the dive that we've been looking for. Weibo saving no prisoners down on the bot side, but a Call the Forge God might give Scout a bit of a free time to try and wreak havoc. But everybody's alive. They're using their HP as a resource, and JDG have no tools to cut through all of it. And Breathe flashes over, insult to injury, and Tien, Nimbus strikes the ace, and Weibo find 5.
Yeah, you know what? Fair play. At least Weibo are trying to make this game for a fast one, or rather, maybe I should be thanking JDG for the decisions going on right now. Hakan secured more towers. Baron's up in 3 minutes.
Broadcast because Weibo were waiting for the Baron. Fortunately, I'm taking the reins back. Baron is spawned and Weibo are straight to it. JDG, they obviously don't want to give this up, but it's already pretty much dead. Arla tries to call the Forge God, gets it, and sacrifices his life. He did just throw himself into the back line and made sure that Jun couldn't get in. But they did get the Baron.
Though, it was making me believe that very poorly, I'm sure. He's laning, and this is like old seasons. Xiao's probably going to like do some cool stuff and get out. Fantastic.
Yeah,
good job.
Exactly.
LPL go. Hold on.
And now Tian wants to go forward. Light wants to go forward as well, and he's pretty isolated to begin with. But the damage just isn't there. Scout jumps out to the waiting arms of a Flame Spitter, and it's once again an absolute slaughter. 3 for nothing. Make it 4 as Pays goes down as well. He will rebuttal absolutely nothing. And Arla farms a wave in the mid lane to get himself a little bit more gold as Weibo charged through the top side with Baron.
Yeah, I mean, this should be it. The writing has been on the wall for the last 10 minutes. We've kind of been waiting for the inevitable to play out. And JDG have, frankly, sprinted themselves into their coffin here for game number 4.
Yeah. I mean, with this Baron and with this massive gold lead, I don't know that they're going to need the Baron necessarily to close out this game. It might be a little bit of a boost for them. They've only got 20 seconds left on it, and you can see Aha circling the JDG bot tier 2 right now, and with one final wave about being cleared out, it's going to be the final effort with the Baron to take this tier 2 turret, but something tells me that they're going to be quite confident to take it even up against no Baron.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Very unprofessional. I have a sneeze that's like trying to
oh, perfect.
Go.
No, that's
and we're not in person, so I can't even signal you like, yo, keep talking.
Where JDG are still stronger. Scout has got a 1,000 gold lead over his counterpart, but I mean, you're comparing that to a almost full build Kaiser and Missing, who's just, oh dear, had an absolute disaster, flashed out, and then hooked his way right back into death. Baron spawned up, and that is probably just handed over now to Weibo, and Erha sat on a pink ward, but probably gets spotted out by the lane ward that JDG have got down. He's looking to try and make more of this than just the Baron. Flash is on top of Pays, who does manage to escape over one wall, only to be met by Winds of War, Equalizer, and everything else that Weibo can throw at him. JDG are crumbling in the mid lane, and Weibo are going to send us all the way to game number 5. They do not need the Baron. They do not need to take that fight. They do it for the fun of the game, Jamada, to destroy JDG in their face.
Bit of a mental breakup. For the love of the game, is how we say it. And first Nexus Tower's about to fall. They're going for the full-on dive. There goes Arla. Missing next on the menu. And shouldn't. I mean, he could try and survive.
The minion. Yeah. He did what he could. He cleared the wave, but the Nexus turrets are going to fall. Weibo Gaming bounce back again in game number 4. Queue up Silver Scrapes. We're going to game 5. Some dive, a forward-going composition with the Sivir, that's for sure. And that's the main side of this. This time it's Missing that finds it, and this is a nice little ingress from JDG to find just a little bit of an advantage in denying Tien his red buff, who might actually have stepped a little too far forward, knocked up by the Jarvan flag and drag handshake back on in, and Pays finds first blood.
Yeah, I mean, perfect CC chain there, and
that recall timing coming through. It's still JDG with this bot prio, with Pays having that first blood that can find that initial dragon and to put themselves 1-0 up on those neutrals.
Breathe, who has, just been having the better end of some of these lane assignments and the matchup overall.
And now with the grub spawning as well, that is just sacrifice. The Scout here still has flash. Will he be able to get out to safety here? Between Worlds comes down and a relatively early flash preserves some of Scout's HP. Let's get out to safety, and it's a couple of ultis expended, but no kills coming through, and Weibo Gaming.
Yeah, and by the way, finished that full clear. He is now only like 80% of the level behind.
Getting from Arla here on this top side. This guy has got no mana. He's got Missing by his side and fortunately able to sidestep a Tempered Fate, which does not matter as a double Cosmic Binding binds up 2. Missing able to flash the wall only to be followed by another magical journey. Breathe flashes out of the Cataclysm, and he's grass procking, he's sustaining, he's shielding and dancing over Jun, and will send him down to the grave.
That's so unfortunate for Shun, but Breeze's dancing feet there were just excellent. Please carry the game for us, Carrie.
Yeah, the original, the old school. People will remember Jin Air Green Wings Teddy, the Civer game of like of 54 minutes and 3 seconds was our longest game of the LPL so far. Hoping that we don't make it that far in this game number 5. As now with no ultis, Weibo still looking to fight. Tian Han shook back in, but without the damage there, this is looking pretty rough, pretty miserable for Jindong Gaming. Flashes out of the Cataclysm, and Xiaohu now the one who's in a little bit of trouble. Flashes to the other side of the wall. Still gets caught by the Deadly Flourish. A double re-engage, Cosmic Binding to be pulled on afterwards, and Pays is sent down. Arlov jumps on him but doesn't find anything, and Light is rattling out these ricochets. One final tap won't quite take down Jun. It's a 1 for nothing, but it's Weibo coming out on top.
And this is what we was just talking about. Haze, flashless, missing flashless. Who gets caught in the Tempered Fate? It's both of them now. The ultimate connects onto Scout.
Another re-engage, but this time they only find Arla. Zhao, who goes through the wall and maybe has gone 1 step too far forward, unless he can montage on them. Takes down Missing, hops over the wall again, and gets out to safety.
Dude, the health bars! Look at everyone. There's no Cataclysm on Shun, and he's got the mana barely for a Tempered Fate. Goodness me, I think
into their control. They're taking a dragon of the game. They're taking a tier 1 turret down on that bot side. And they are starting to, Jamada, put a real stamp on game number 5. The 7th seed of the LPL coming into playoffs. Now up against the 3rd seed in Jindong Gaming, a team that was on a 10-game winning streak, a 5-series.
But it's certainly going to start getting there very, very soon. Come in. Here's a pick.
With fake onto air, he's trying to buy time, let his team get in, and he's done exactly that. Tien's there with a Glacial Prison that sends Missing straight to the grey screen. Now Xiaohu's flying over, Tien in tow. They want Scout, they want Arla as well. The Jax is able to hop out to safety, and Weibo, they just find one, but again, it was a play started by JDG that benefits Weibo. It's Weibo now heralding down in that top side, this tier 1 turret, the final piece of the outer turret puzzle that they need to claim, and JDG, they know that they've got no reason to be here. And honestly, with this Rift Herald in tow, they could very well look for a second turret, look for a charge even further. They push bot wave so deep that nobody needs to answer it for a while. Happy with Breathe answering mid lane because Pace can't step up to him, and now he can move up through this topside jungle. There's no response at all from JDG. The turret's going to get charged on, and maybe there's more to follow.
Yeah, Arla's taking a lot of damage here, actually. He's dead.
Finding connects, and Weibo are just not stopping on the hunt, and hunt they will. Missing goes golden, but despite a well-placed hostile takeover, nothing happens. We are 22 minutes into this game. Weibo, with Grubs and Herald at their side, have broken open the base, and they're trying to break open the game, Jamada. Nexus turret's now under fire. TP in from Scout is going to thwart their efforts. But Weibo, we thought this might have been just a tier 2. Instead, they take the whole top side.
Yeah, I mean, that was insane. Just so much gain from Weibo for so little really expended in the grand scheme of things. And I was a bit worried at the very end. And they're going to get out. Arla's going to teleport bot to try and get something back. But, man, it just does not really feel like anything.
Across the majority of their lanes. And in particular, we look at that top lane, right? Breathe is now 3 levels up over Arla, an entire item up over the Jax. Food stamps damage with his Jin build at the minute. This is Weibo Gaming being clinical and at this stage looking really good.
Like the upset is on the cards here. It's like just maybe. But so many of the teams have beaten each other throughout the year. It's really hard to, you know, really say for certain. As oh my goodness,
3-man Tempest Fate. Aha finds 3 and binds up both of them. JDG are slaughtered in their topside jungle, and it is off the back of this Erha board. The 5th pick bot lane to decide it all. And Weibo with an open inhibitor in the top side and a wave in the mid lane are looking to send JDG to the lower bracket.
We were apprehensive about the pick at first, and I think rightly so. How many times do you see a Bard do as well as this? But Erha single-handedly put Weibo in his backpack for this game. And the rest of Weibo happily played their parts to make this as smooth as possible. And the game's done at 27 minutes.
An MVP